Now I'm gonna play two notes. This and this. Now, if I ask you the second note, is it higher or lower than the first note? I know you'd be quick to say the second note is higher. Let me play the game. First note, second note is higher, right? Obviously, because the distance is really wide. It's just like asking you, can you see that elephant? The elephant is really huge. You can't miss it. Okay. Now, what would happen when the notes start getting closer? Wait. So if I play this and this, okay, you still probably guess it correctly that the second note was still higher. Now, it gets closer, even closer than that. Listen to this. Okay, okay. Now you'd probably say, okay, I could tell there's a difference between the two notes, right? If you have untrained ears, you'd probably not be able to tell if it's higher or lower. Okay, so that's not what we're gonna do today. Okay, today we are gonna look into little microscopic units of sound. It's very important to hear these sounds, okay? Because the better you hear the sound, the cleaner you're singing. And all those off keys and off pitch days will be a thing of the past. So, welcome to the world of microscopic sound. Now, let me just explain something here, okay? So, you have a note on the keyboard, okay? Now, this is a G, okay? And the very next note is a G sharp, all right? Again, G, a G sharp. That's the very next note. But did you know that between these two notes, there are smaller units of sound? In fact, there's about 100 of them. Oh. There's 100. It's unbelievable, isn't it? So they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So if you had a hard time hearing the difference between those two, then this video is for you. Okay. So this notes here, all we have here, like when you have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, they are musical notes. Okay. That's how we're going to differentiate between these notes and the microscopic notes. Okay. But that's not all. The musical notes have more. Okay, there's about 12 of them. So between some of these notes, there are some hidden notes. Okay, so after this, we have this and this and this and this and this. Okay, and you keep going till you get back to the do at the top. These are the musical notes we have. Okay, now let's take two of them. Okay, the one note and the very next one. Okay, so let's take a G again. All right. So this is G, and this is the very next note. These two are musical notes. They happen in music. You use them in music. But like I said, between the two of them, there are 100 other notes between them. Okay, so let's look at this. Between G and the G sharp, well, it could be C and C sharp, it could be D and D sharp, or E and E flat. It could be anyone, but I'm talking about a specific note and the very next note above or below it. Okay, that is what we call a semitone. A semitone, and it's a half step apart. Okay, that's what we're using as 0 and 100. Now let's come back to sight. You know, the bigger the object, the easier it is to spot the object. Yeah, let's say an elephant, or maybe a skyscraper, or a mountain. These are really huge, okay? You can spot them easily. So it's like a note and another note in the next octave really far apart. It's easy to tell the difference, which one is higher, which one is lower. Now, let's bring it down, okay? Now, when it comes to seeing particles, bacterias, or yeah, the particle world, you'd need an object called a microscope. All right. Now, let's come back to the ears or the hearing. Now, when it comes to these 100 steps between a musical note and the very next one, Trust me, you don't need an aeroscope to hear the difference. It's all training. With the eyes, perhaps, when you want to see the particles, you would need a microscope. But if you want to hear these little tiny sounds, you don't need an aeroscope, okay? So all it takes is training, and this is the video for you. You know why this is important? I'll tell you why it's very important. Because what you're doing is training your mind to recognize sound exactly the way it is, accurately, excellently. And the moment you do that, your singing is going to improve automatically. I'll explain this. Now, most of us know that the mind controls the body. Your mind controls your body. So if you want to stand up, it is your mind that will send a signal to your body to stand up. If you want to turn around, it is your mind that will tell your head to turn around. Likewise, if you want to hit a note, it is your mind that will tell your voice what note to hit or what note to sing. There is a problem. The problem is perception. With people that sing off key or flat or sharp, the problem is perception. Because if you hear a note like this and you perceive it to sound something different into the sense, right? Something slightly higher or lower, that's what your mind is going to tell your voice to sing. So you see why most times we go flat, sharp, or we go pitchy, or we sing out of tune. That's the reason. So if you're able to train your mind to hear these small little degrees of sound, you'd see your singing, you'd watch your singing. I mean, go to the next level like you've never heard before. It's as simple as that. So your singing control, your mind controls your singing. That's why sometimes when singers are distracted, they forget their lyrics. Sometimes when they're distracted, they go off pitch or go off key or something like that. Okay, so you need your mind. Okay, stay with me. Again, I'll be going back and forth between the sides and the voice. Now, have you seen opticians? I think that's what they're called. Yeah, when they do eye check, they use something like a Snellen, right? Snellen. Correct? Yeah, correct. Or what we call a letter chart. Yes, a letter chart. And they say, stand here. Can you see this first line? Okay, that one is bigger. That one is big, right? So probably you wouldn't have a problem seeing it. And then the next line, do you see it? It's a little bit smaller than the previous one. And then they keep going until the letters are tiny. And you'll be like, I can't read that. I can't see that. Okay, now the same with sound. You know, we play the notes far apart. You could hear it. We played one not so far apart. You heard it. And now we've come to the 100 steps between a musical note and the very next musical notes. Okay. What are these 100 steps called? They are called cents. Cents. C-E-N-T-S. Okay. And they are non-musical notes. When you intend to sing a G and maybe you sing 10 cents above the G, that is pitchy, that is sharp, or maybe 20 cents below it, you didn't quite reach it, that is flat, okay? And that is non-musical because singing off pitch ruins the sound as a whole. So now let's listen to cents. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. So the first one is 100. Okay, so the first one is 0 to 100. Okay, so listen. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? 0 and 100. Listen again. I'll play it again. Now that's not too hard, right? You could tell the difference, right? That the second one is higher. Now let's listen to 50. Okay. I think you heard the difference, right? Awesome. That's 50 cents. 50 cents, okay? And together, two of them is going to sound like this. Okay, an untrained ear would actually hear this. Now, we're getting critical now. It's getting more critical now. Things are getting serious. Okay, so let's listen to 30. Did you hear that? Now, if your ears are not trained, you probably would find it really hard to tell the difference. That is 30 cents. Things are getting really small now. Okay, let's hear two of them alternating. Probably that helped, right? Okay. Well, let's listen to the next one, 20. Now, if your ears are not trained, you won't hear that. I heard it because I've trained my ears, and this is how I began. Okay. But trust me, the first time I couldn't even tell the difference between 0 and 30. Yes, that's where I was before. And you know how to make yourself improve with the way you hear is focus and keep listening every day. You go back to this video, you listen to the notes, pay attention. One day, the difference will just bam appear like night and day. The difference will be like night and day. So just keep listening. That's what we call training your hearing, training your ears. All right. So let's listen to 20 again. And now let's listen to two of them alternating. And now let's listen to 10. I mean, if you didn't hear 20, there's no point, but I'm going to put the 10 here because I know one day you'd hear the 20 and then you want to go to the 10. Okay, so let's listen to the 10. And now let's listen to two of them alternating. Let's go even smaller now. Let's listen to 5. That was 5. That was 5. Now let's listen to 0 and 5 alternating. Yeah, I could still hear that. Okay, well, how did you do? Well, this is now the real test, okay? This next segment is the real test. So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to play two notes and I'm going to ask you a question. Is the second one higher or lower than the first one? Okay? So just pay attention. Even if you have to close your eyes to focus a lot more, it's worth it, okay? It's a very nice exercise. You don't have to sing in this one. All you have to do is actively engage in this. Don't listen to it passively, okay? So are you ready? Here's the first one. Is the second one higher or lower? Okay, you want to hear it again. Okay, I'll play it again. Higher or lower? You have 3 seconds to answer. Well, it is higher. If you said higher, correct. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Higher or lower? Listen. Okay, I'll play it again. Pay attention. So, higher or lower? The second one is lower than the first one. Awesome. Now let's go to the next one. Okay, like the others, I'm going to give you a second listen. Okay, so over to you. Is the second one higher or lower? If you said lower, then you're absolutely correct. Well done. Okay, let's go to the next one. Higher or lower? I'll play it again. Okay, so higher or lower? Well, if you said higher, very well done. Okay, now let's go to the last one. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, over to you. Is it higher or lower? It is higher. If you said higher, correct. So, this is a great listening exercise you can do every day. Trust me, it helped me improve massively. And I mean massively. I was amazed. Our minds are powerful. It's all about the mind, trust me. If you can train your mind and train your perception to be more accurate, I mean, not just your singing, but a lot of things are going to improve in your life. Trust me. Okay. So if you had a hard time hearing it, maybe from 30 downwards, all you have to do is listen again and again and again. And one day you'd be able to hear the difference. And then you move to the next one. All right. So thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope you learned a lot. All right. Don't forget to click the join button. It's a way of supporting this channel. We have 3 categories you can use to support this channel as low as even $1. Come on. This channel has been a blessing to you and you tell me about it. So why not be a special member? Yes, you can also be a special member and watch videos way ahead of time. Even before anybody can watch it, it's out there for you to have access to and watch before it's even released. Okay. So when you click the join button as well, you become a special member that gives you access to perks, maybe certain pictures or videos or bloopers that I post. You get to see them, and it's not for the general subscriber. So being a subscriber, great. Thank you so much for subscribing. But there's something higher than that. When you are a special member, by clicking the join button, you have access to more, access to a lot more. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep practicing. Bye-bye.
You can now extend your voice to reach really high notes. Eliminate voice breakage. Become a more confident singer.
With you, I think I'm possible. With you, I think I'm possible.
Develop a rich tone quality, have more control when you sing, and so much more by purchasing a copy of the best and most affordable voice training lesson from our website called Singing with Freedom. Go to www.thevocallexicon.co.uk and click the shop page and select the singing lesson called Singing with Freedom. Congratulations!
Multiplication is unworthy.